Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
And welcome back, everyone. It always amazes me what acupuncture and also hypnosis can help us with. I'm going to say it's almost endless. Like every day I learn something new, especially from her. She practices both. We're going to focus on hypnosis in the beginning. And so many of us have challenges with this. Public speaking or speaking our mind, just even speaking up in even personal relationships. There's a reason that we don't. And hypnosis gets to the core of that. She's based out of New York City. She is our professional of the year. Dr. Kelly is back with us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Steve. How are you doing?
Great. And I shouldn't be surprised that hypnosis can help with those of us who are afraid to speak our mind or public speaking, but I never even thought that could be something hypnosis can help with, and certainly there's reasons for it. So this all starts with a client, a patient that you had, right?
Yes.
Tell us.
These patients came in actually originally for thyroid problem. She also have other problem on the line, but we treated. The results is good. Actually, she went back to check the thyroid, and they said, oh, the mass in her thyroid got so much smaller. Actually, it was like I think it was I forgot exactly the size, but it shrinked to half after like some acupuncture treatment. So she's happy with the acupuncture treatment, but because we also talk like about the relationship, about other stuff. Then she mentioned like she cannot speak up. Like for example, in a meeting, there are like several people attended the meeting. If her manager asked her opinion about something, she wouldn't be able to feel comfortably talk. She just hold her opinion inside. She also mentioned about like even like if she's not happy with her husband about something, she wouldn't be able to tell her husband like, hey, like I don't want to do this together with you. Maybe you should go by yourself. But she wouldn't be able to say it. She will just go with him. So that kind of thing brought my attention. I'm like, thyroid cannot speak up. So that is something hypnosis can help with. So I offered hypnosis and she agreed. So we did a session. The result is good.
Wow. So I would have thought, because a lot of the things that challenge us go back to our childhood, I really would have thought that I was expecting you to say that when she was younger, her parents didn't allow her to speak her mind, or she felt like she was never heard. And, that translates into our adult life. But you're saying it's thyroid connected?
Actually, what happened is when she was little. So it's a sad story. Her mom gave birth to her, then just left.
Okay.
Then her father gave her to her grandma to raise her up. But her grandma was like living with one son for a few months, then live with another son for a few months. So she was like moving around.
Sure.
So very little, her like 2 or 3 years old, she kind of like already know she has to kind of like behave. Oh, something bad gonna happen.
Sure.
Then the original event happened is one day her aunt had an argument with her grandma. Of course, she loved her grandma, right? Because her grandma take care of her, love her. So she loved her grandma dearly. But when she saw her aunt had an argument with her grandma, she was so angry, even like 2, 3 years old. She jumped up, she beat her aunt.
Yep.
But the result is very bad. So her aunt make such a big deal, like, oh, this little kid is too bad. She beat me up, so I cannot let her stay in my house anymore. So they had to move. So after that, she
Oh,
learned, oh my God, I cannot speak up. If I speak up, something bad gonna happen.
oh my gosh. Like she was defending her grandmother, who essentially we'll call it her mother, in the eyes of, parents. And it looks like she was suppressed. Like she, from that moment on, very okay. Now you mentioned thyroid a couple of times. Tell us about the
Yeah.
connection there.
Yeah, so actually, I mean, in Chinese medicine, thyroid basically is some emotion you suppressed. Then the invisible emotion, the stress, turn into something visible. Then, you can have something growing in the thyroid. That's Chinese medicine's explanation.
Mhm.
That makes sense. And in the hypnosis world, thyroid also means you just cannot speak up, you suppress yourself. That's how the thyroid have, the something growing. So it's a little bit similar, actually. Both Chinese medicine and hypnosis explain the same thing. Um, just acupuncture use needles, hypnosis use, we go back to the childhood, we heal the childhood trauma, then the problem disappear.
Wow. So, what about those who have had their thyroids removed? Is there a potential connection to communication, speaking your mind? I know there's probably lots of reasons why a thyroid needs to be removed, but what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think there is a 100% there's some connection with people who remove their thyroid. There has to be a lot of emotion suppressed. So I worked with this patient, luckily she doesn't need to remove anything, because it's good results. So I would really suggest people, if you have a similar problem, come in either acupuncture or hypnosis, because both acupuncture and hypnosis treat the root cause. We both basically treat the emotion. And also actually a lot of other like doctors, like holistic doctors, they also think it's the same thing. All the disease is the root cause is emotion. Like it's some stress, some
Hmm.
fear, some anger. If you suppress inside didn't get released, you will have problem. So doesn't matter hypnosis or acupuncture, we basically treat the root both.
So, in the case of this person who was raised by their grandmother, did this come up during the hypnosis session? And if so, was it a surprise to her, or she already knew, but she kind of buried it down? How did that all go? And I'm asking so that we can share with others the whole process of hypnosis, how it works.
Actually, this kind of thing because it happened like when she was only 2 or 3. It's pretty early. Some people may have a memory like when they are 2 or 3. Some people may don't have memory until like 4 or 5. So, in this way, I would say if you don't do hypnosis, she may not even know actually the original event was when she was only 2 or 3, because sometimes you don't even remember what happened.
Yep.
In this way, you have to do a hypnosis. Then your mind, got really relaxed. You kind of like in the trance. Then your subconscious mind can, get active. Then some image or some event gonna come up. In this way, I would say you have to do through hypnosis.
Mm. Can I share with you a situation that came up with hypnosis?
Sure.
Kind of connected to this. Now, this came up a while back. This is even before we met. And I've been doing, hypnosis for probably 5 years now. It's game changer. And even the sessions I had with you realized a bunch of things, weight management connected. Whoa. So I I was going to do a past life regression. try something a little bit different. And I told the practitioner, just I want a happy time. I was on vacation at the time. So I was like, and it was virtual like we're doing here. I was like, I want to do that, something happy. She started. I couldn't come up with anything. And then I realized where the block was. Now, this has come up before in other sessions and a while back before this, but it centers around when I was 3, where I was living. My parents had gotten divorced just prior. And there was always a lot of, like you described that with this person, a lot of negativity. Mom and dad fighting. And as I remember this as a 3-year-old, but this time it came back even clearer. And I also saw my other relatives, like my aunt was living there, my grandmother, and everybody was always, have fighting. There was a lot of negativity that I perceived. But these are just an accident too. I was waving bye-bye, standing on a radiator. I fell, I hit my head. My mom freaked out, because I was bleeding. It all worked out fine. I got a bad sunburn when I was 3 in that apartment. And I'm pushing my little car. This is what I remember, pushing my little car, and all I remember is these big blisters on my arms. It was just, and my mother yelling at my father for not putting on sunscreen. My point here is it came up again, but this time when it came up, and this is, a few years ago, came up as a little bit of anger. What was I feeling? It was almost like the child inside of me wanted to say this to my parents, and you love your parents, but, what are you guys doing? There's kids in the house. You guys are yelling. You're screaming. There's negativity. We can hear it. Of course, I'm not going to say that as a 3-year-old, but that's what I remember. And that's what the child inside of me wanted to say. So I was actually holding on to that anger, like basically just saying, and I guess if I could, I would say it to my parents. Now they're not here. Love you guys. But what the hell were you thinking at that time? There's kids here. We can hear you. Stop with the fighting. But that was blocking me from positive stuff, and I'm sure a lot of other things. But that's what came up in hypnosis. And it wasn't necessarily sad. It was just more clarity of these things that we remember when we're younger. And as in the case of the woman that couldn't speak her mind, we hold on to them until adulthood, right?
Yeah, so that was like make me think everybody gonna need hypnosis because it's like almost everyone. Something happened when we were so little.
Sure.
We couldn't express, we don't know how to swallow.
Yeah.
And our parents, unfortunately, no parents are perfect, right? So everybody knows parents love them, love us, right? We know
Yeah.
that. But the
Yep.
point is, our parents might not know how to handle the situation. For example, if they are arguing in front of the kid gonna get worried. They're gonna be afraid. They like, I don't feel safe. My parents are arguing. What's gonna happen,
Yeah.
right? But unfortunately, a lot of parents they do argue in front of kids, especially young kids. So it's pretty bad actually. So that's why I want to talk about the hypnosis. I want the parents to know try to don't fight. You can talk or discuss something if you don't agree with each other, but don't raise your voice, don't get angry because kids will be afraid of that.
Yeah.
They will feel insecure. This is gonna have a major impact on their life later on, even their relationship, their marriage. So that's why I really want to everybody know about the hypnosis because it's so important, not only for yourself, like your own relationship, your own career, your own happiness, your own success, but also for your kids, because kids look at the parents as a model.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you behave as a married couple, as a successful business owner, or or whatever job you're doing, how do you handle it? Your kids are looking at it. They are saying, "Oh, if you are very angry, stressful every day, they will say, oh, working as an engineer is very stressful." Or working as a banker is like you have to be frustrated, angry all the time. So you will kind of like plant the seeds, not on purpose, but in their little mind, they will grow up. They're like, oh, if I'm a banker, I'm gonna be so stressful and angry every day, frustrated. that shouldn't be all the case. Some people, they can be peaceful, relaxed, and have a success career.
Yeah. And parents assume, like, let's say a parent has a disagreement with the other parent. They might assume that, wow, we're in the other room. The kids don't know. They know. They know. They can hear it. They can sense the energy. They can feel it. And I know from that situation, it was a feeling of not good enough. And then after that, a couple of years later, I gained a lot of weight, I guess, to deal with, that situation. So then I got bullied because I was heavy. And then that's that other feeling of not good enough. And that all came up during hypnosis. And it's my understanding that that feeling of not being good enough is extremely common. In fact, I hear it's in pretty much all of us in some area where you feel you're not good enough. And also, we might even feel that we're responsible for things as kids. A breakup, you might internalize as a kid that, oh, that's my fault. That's my fault. And hold on to that until adulthood. It's not your fault. You're 2 or 3 years old. But we hold on to this stuff and then we take it with us into adult life. And then that holds us back from the relationships we want, the jobs we want, speaking our mind, all of that. It's amazing what goes on here. And Dr. Kelly, I totally agree with you. Everybody needs hypnosis. Don't wait. It'll reveal things, and then it starts coming clear, like why maybe my life is this way. It could be another way, but you're holding yourself back, or the stuff you dealt with when you were a kid is holding you back. But you'll never know until you get into your subconscious and kind of go through the file cabinet there and pull out a file like, oh, look at that. That makes sense now. Any other revelations that you've had in working with people that goes back to their childhood? Anything that stands out in your mind?
Yeah, like this guy, he has a business, but later on, after a year, he found out his best friends who he trusts very much, and they have been know each other for like 20 years, but actually took away a lot of his clients, went to another business with another person. Of course, he felt betrayed. He felt like, oh my God, this guy, I trust him so much.
Yeah.
It's a bad thing. On the surface, it's a bad thing, right? It's the other person's fault. Had nothing to do with him. That usually happens to people. Something bad happened, we always say, oh, it's the other person, he's bad. He did this. I didn't do anything wrong. But actually in hypnosis world, we see we created everything around us, like not consciously, because consciously nobody wants anything bad to happen, right?
Sure.
We only want a good thing. So during the hypnosis, went back when he was like 2 or 3, he said his aunt was visiting them. And his aunt had a brand new car. That's like 20, 40 years ago. Like by that time, brand new car is kind of like expensive by that time. He said everybody was enjoying the car, but somehow I was not in that car. Can you imagine a 2, 3 years old was left alone? Everybody else would enjoy the new car, like driving around. So because of that, he feel, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not worth enough for the good things, for the good life.
Wow.
So that triggered a lot of things later on, like his friends betrayed him, took away the clients, made his business supposed to be growing, making more money. Instead, he didn't make so much money. He didn't really have a good life.
Wow. My head is spinning on that one. That's a kid internalizing a car. But yeah, I guess he felt everybody else was so excited. Oh my, look at this thing. It's beautiful. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Then they go in for a ride. They come back. Man, it's like, wow, that was really, what a good time, man. And there he is. Wow. We're talking about hypnosis. That's one modality you offer. Also, acupuncture. And we have an email from a couple of times back when we got together. Can we read that now?
Sure.
So you can reach us anytime. InstantFeedbackSteve@gmail.com. This is from Joe, Sarasota, Florida. He said, I appreciate your conversation. I had hip replacement surgery a while back and occasionally feel a bit of achiness near my hip. My doctor says it's normal and should go away, but it's a bit challenging at this point. Would acupuncture help with the pain and discomfort?
Okay, so he did a hip replacement a couple years ago. Oh, yeah, definitely, because I do have patients coming for hip pain a lot.
Wow.
Some had hip replacement a couple years ago. One of the lady, actually, she's already like 75 or something, 76. She said for 3 years, her hip was good, no pain. But one day she came in, she was limping. She's like, oh, Dr. Kelly, I don't know what happened to my hip. Like, oh my God, it's so painful. I barely can walk. She said, can you please help me? Before you help, if you can help me, I don't want to go back to do another hip replacement. Like, gonna be
Ah,
awful, like it's a big surgery. I treated her once. By the way, during the treatment, she still kind of like faint, because I really want to help her. So I use a kind of like a little bit longer needle. So she kind of faint, oh my God, there's a lot of pain. But guess what? Right after the treatment, she got back home. She said, oh my God, Dr. Kelly, you saved my life. I had no pain now. Like yesterday, I was like dying. The pain is so much. Today, I'm all good. So
one session?
one treatment.
What's going on there? Like, how did that work?
Yeah, what's going on? Yes. Again, doesn't matter what kind of pain, hip pain, neck pain, lower back pain. In Chinese medicine, pain means there's some blockage. Pain means some qi stagnation, blood stasis. That's how it causes the pain. So with acupuncture needle, that's why actually a lot of people they went to PT, they went to chiropractor, they went to massage, the pain didn't really going away. But with acupuncture, why it can help so much because with acupuncture needle, we can go to deeper into that scar tissue and breaking it down. That's why acupuncture working so well, even all other modality doesn't work because it can go deeper and break down the scar tissue over there.
So I heard this. I have occasionally a little bit of pain in a near my hip in the last like month or so, and I think I know what I did at the gym to cause it, but it should resolve by now. But every once in a while, I get out of the car, get out of bed, and I'll feel like a little discomfort, and then it goes away. And somebody told me, "Oh, you probably," and this I believe is in line with what you just said. They said, "Oh, you probably had a little bit of a tear in a muscle or something like that, something." The muscle can't fix itself. It just is what it is. And then the fascia, which is in our body, which basically holds everything together, is compensating for it and probably knotted up in that spot blockage, right? And
Yeah.
that's probably why you're feeling something. And then when you move a little bit, it gets heated up and then you feel much better. So again, back to the blockage, the stagnation of the blood and blah, blah, blah. All of that sounds like the same, what you're talking about. And I just heard that recently. Somebody said that it's probably the fascia. But you can get into that with acupuncture and even past that, I would assume, right?
Yeah, so basically the fascia and the muscle, if they stuck together, that causes the pain because the blood cannot move through. That's called the pain. But when we use acupuncture needle, we can get down over there, break it down.
Wow. Learning a lot today. We've talked a lot, but I can see even more now. Amazing. Amazing. So acupuncture, you got to be in New York City or in the metro area to get treated by yourself. But when it comes to hypnosis, hypnotherapy, it could be anywhere, which is the beauty of it. I don't think I've ever done hypnotherapy in person. I love doing virtual. You're in your own space. You can relax. You can chill. Um, Best way to find you, your website is kelly121acupuncture.com, right?
Yes, they can also email me info at kelly121acupuncture.com or text me or even call me 347-885-1865. By the way, my office is like basically 121 East 60th Street. So if you live in another state, you have to fly to here.
Yeah, but well, for the acupuncture part. But when you do get into the city area, you are very conveniently located. There are subways, everything. I kind of familiar with that area. So yeah, you were there. You are available. Thank you so much for today. Thanks for sharing what you've learned along the way. Very impactful. I appreciate it. We'll talk soon.
Yes, Steve.
Okay, thank you.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.